Welcome to the Cybersecurity Agenda podcast, co-produced by Divine Integration and NextEra Transformation Group. I'm Laszlo Gonk, First Senior Fellow, Divine Cybersecurity Center of Excellence, and founder of NextEra Transformation Group. Divine offers services in three distinct groups: Transformation Solutions, Technology Centers of Excellence, and Workforce Solutions. Services are provided at various levels, from advisory to design, implementation, and support. NextEra is the think tank that discreetly operates under the radar to boost the effectiveness of your C-suite. We fuse the knowledge of business, technology, and cyber risk into strategy and execution. Cyber threats in your supply chain. Risks associated with supply chain attacks have never been higher as new types of cyber attacks continue to grow and evolve. Cyber aggressors have more resources and tools at their disposal than ever before. This has considerably changed the attack surface to organizations like yours, putting your products and service delivery ecosystems at higher risk. Most organizations focus on their own internal cyber risks through building up their perimeter defenses. Few organizations have cybersecurity programs to assess the vulnerability of their supply chains once they pass the front-end review process. The risk of a cyber attack can increase dramatically after the first few months of a contract term, potentially increasing over the life of the contract itself. So, what are the 5 types of supply chain threats out there? Insider threats. Inside threat actors are particularly common where manufacturers are targeted. Roughly 30% of attacks on manufacturers are created by individuals working within the industry, or once did, according to the 2019 Verizon's Data Breach Investigations Report. In over 2/3 of these incidents, the motivations were financially related, and 27% were driven by revenge or simply for the thrill of it. Number 2, cloud access management. As supply chain management software and data storage migrate to the cloud, organizations expose additional risk as they create systems of engagement outside their perimeter. Failure to properly manage and configure cloud access can lead to a serious IT and security risk, including providing users with excess privileges or worse, exposing cloud storage repositories to open and accessible to anyone. Cloud solutions must include strong identity and access management policies. Compromised software or hardware. Software or hardware purchased from suppliers can have defects, deficiencies, and compromises. It is important to inventory your hardware and software suppliers. Set high standards for quality assurance, including rigorous testing protocols. Through this process, you'll be able to manage and potentially reduce the inherent security risks of third-party components. Number 4, IoT sensor compromise. IoT devices equipped with sensors connected to the internet are increasingly used in supply chains for inventory management and to predict machinery failures before they can actually happen. However, this sensor data is another attack vector hackers can use to discover information about your supply chain, including order volumes, important supplier relationships, and more. IoT devices need to be checked and verified for security and encryption as they are implemented at all points in the IoT ecosystem. Number 5, entrusting data to a third-party vendor. Cloud service providers allocate significant funds to securing their systems. Their reputation and livelihoods depend on it. Understandably, some companies are still reluctant to entrust important data to a third-party vendor. There are certainly increased risks in using a cloud service that doesn't put a premium on security. It is thus critical to engage only companies that have experience in dealing with mission-critical applications and pass strict security audits. These companies often have much higher standards and more layers of security than those of the companies whose data they host. Sometimes cloud service providers, suppliers, and vendors have more access and privileges to your systems and data than you or your staff. In many cases, it makes sense for the cyber aggressors to directly attack the supplier. By partnering with your suppliers and through a strong third-party management risk program, you can enable monitoring and real-time assessments of your supply chain risks. The problem gets worse when you consider security risks do not end when the supplier relationship is terminated. Former suppliers may still have retained your organization's data on their systems. Ensure your third-party risk management program has strong and auditable processes for verifying data that is permanently expunged from your terminated supplier. And lastly, regulators are increasingly looking at third-party risks. Depending on your industry, you may need to establish logging, monitoring, and auditing capabilities of your supply chain to ensure your supplier's cybersecurity protections are up to par. In summary, start to understand your cyber risk and exposure by examining what data you have, how and where it's being used, and prioritizing your critical suppliers. Two common deficiencies of cybersecurity supply chain programs are: one, lack of understanding of the types of data and access to third-party possesses, and two, a prioritized list of suppliers. Involving your IT and security teams alongside your procurement teams that handle the logistics of assessing and onboarding the vendors will help strengthen the processes starting at the point of implementation. They should include items that give insights into what third-party data has access to, where that data resides, and who has access to it. Once you understand the criticality of the data third party has access to, you can then prioritize the risk around that supplier. So 5 actionable takeaways. 1, understand your data. Identify the data critical to your business and how and where it is being used. Number 2, regulatory and compliance landscape. Understand your legal requirements and compliance obligations with your industry. Number 3, establish a third-party risk management program. Develop and document a formal third-party risk management program which involves your procurement, technology, and security teams to ensure security best practices are implemented up front. Number 4, logging, monitoring, and auditing. Establish regular procedures for review and follow-up if you are in a highly regulated industry. Ensure you have the ability to audit as required. And lastly, number 5, communication. Business processes and shared data can change. Ensure your partner with our supply and review document changes in your business processes, data, and delivery. In these challenging times, we hope these insights and actionable takeaways help you. On behalf of Divine Integration and Next Era Transformation Group, I am Laszlo Konk. Thank you for listening.